8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up, hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What up, all party people? How y'all doing? So, I don't know. We got like one person watching, so I don't know. This might be a short night. I only have what is it, four things to even talk about, and then we'll open it up to the tavern and open the bar. This is kind of like just getting everybody ready for the bar to be open. Nobody ever shows up well, I mean, there are a few people that show up as soon as the bar opens up. That would be Gerald B.
Yep.
Usually.
Yep.
But even Gerald B is not here today. So, people are probably making holiday plans and shit like that. So, who knows? It might be a light night. I might just read the stories, give a couple calls out for a live chat, and then not have one and just call it good right there. I do have, every Friday night I do play with my daughter a little bit on Twitch. So, I usually bail right around It's at 9, usually 9 o'clock my time, which it's 7 o'clock right now. So that's a good 2-hour chat. This is only going to take a few minutes, though, getting through the stories. And if there's a lot of people like Tactical Tony and Mule wanting in, by no means am I going to turn them down, right? So we'll open it up early if that happens. But until then, let's go ahead and check out what's been going on in the news a little bit. Jesse Smollett, for one. He got sentenced. Well, he didn't get sentenced, I guess, yet. He got convicted. I don't know when sentencing is. But apparently his attorney is 100% confident that that guilty verdict will be overturned. I am absolutely confused and curious on how they are putting that together, because I'm pretty sure that the prosecution who did it pro bono for free, so they didn't charge the state. I think it was a private attorney who decided to do it to prosecute for free. Didn't charge the state or the city anything. So, and I'm sure Mule, if he does show up, we'll have. Well, he might. I don't know if he's following this one. I know he's following the Rittenhouse, but I don't know if he's following the Smollett. But it is close to him. Anyway, let's find out. From the first day of this case, his case has been prejudged. Has it? I think it had too, especially in the media. I mean, I didn't get anything together tonight, but I'm pretty sure it'd be, I could just type in YouTube. In fact, let me try that real quick. Let's do Jesse. There we go. Thank you, autocorrect. News. How about original? Original new story. I don't know. I mean, it's been all over. I'm only going to find a few things, but it's been all over all the major news outlets, except for maybe Fox and OAN, that he was a victim of a hate crime. I mean, they had judged that one easy, and now they don't cover it at all. You don't hear it on CNN, as far as I know. I don't watch CNN, so I really don't know. No. What up, Nugs? How you doing? Yeah, I know you are. Let's see. Smollett was found guilty on 5 of 6 felony counts of disorderly conduct. I guess that's what they're charging him with instead of they don't have a crime for reporting falsehoods to the FBI, or not the FBI, but to the cops. Justin Flynn, add to block, and add to block list. Bye. Unfortunately, it does. Oh, it does show up on there. Cool. Is it on the YouTube gone? Let's see. Just make sure. And on the YouTube, gone. Thank you, Justina Flynn. You have been blocked. Waste of time. It's funny. I stream on a couple different platforms. YouTube is the only one that allows that shit to happen. Well, I think we had something like that on Twitch a long time ago. Anyway, he was convicted of 5 of 6 felony counts of disorderly conduct for lying to the police and staging a hate crime against himself. He claimed back in 2019 that, well, we already know what he claimed. I want to hear about his defense attorney. Vowed to appeal the verdict and said he is confident he will win. We feel 100% confident this case will be won on appeal. Unfortunately, that's not the route we wanted, but sometimes that's the route you have to take to win, especially a case where we remain 100% confident in our client's innocence. Really? He also added that Smollett is disappointed. I would imagine so. You've been branded a liar, and nobody is sticking up for you other than your defense attorney. Nobody on CNN, nobody on MSNBC, nobody gives a fuck about you because you're a proven liar that made them all look like a fool. And there ain't no way in hell they're going to report any of your so-called 100% guarantee that you're going to win on appeal. But I will tell you this, I'm very proud of him. I'm proud of him. He said he's holding up very strong. He's committed to clearing his name, and he's 100% confident he's going to get it cleared by the appellate court. He claimed that the jury's verdict was inconsistent because Smollett was found not guilty on the 6th count. Jesse was not accused of doing two different things. He was accused of doing one thing and charged multiple times for the same incident. A jury cannot come out and say guilty of lying, but not guilty of lying. Doesn't make sense. I don't know what he's referring to. I didn't really follow the case that much, to be honest. But I am glad, the verdict came back. The attorney also claimed that Smollett's case had been prejudged by the media. Really? Really? Oh, I would love to see the prosecution come in with like a clip of all the times the media fawned over Jesse Smollett, and then the defense will have like one clip from Fox News, or I guess a few clips from Fox. All their clips will just be from Fox News and OAN. That's it. Despite the fact that most mainstream outlets ran with the Smollett's hoax without once questioning it. Exactly. From the first day of the case, his case has been prejudged. His case has been tried in the media, and it's unfortunate. This is the United States of America. We live in a constitutional democracy where everyone is presumed innocent, but obviously, if we're being honest, that hasn't been the case. Well, yeah, it's funny how these people word these things, because Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have had to go to court at all. Should have never seen a courtroom. And he had to fight it. And the jury figured that one out, even though the media did crucify him every chance they got, calling him all sorts of names like white supremacist and Proud Boy and yeah. I kind of done with Smollett, Schiff was confronted on the House floor about Russiagate hoax and Hunter Biden scams. This guy just creeps me the fuck out, dude. If there really were lizard people, I think this guy would be one of them. Let's see about investigations. Who did it? The confrontation came during a floor debate ahead of a vote on the Protecting Our Democracy Act, a bill proposed in response to former President Trump's overreaching presidential action. But as Representative James Comer, the ranking member on the House Oversight and Reform Committee, noted, Schiff lost all credibility to weigh in on executive authority when he helped fuel the Russiagate hoax. Every time Chairman Schiff rises to speak on a bill about intelligence and security and holding the president accountable, I get excited, hoping we're going to hear about that evidence of collusion and all the other investigations that were conducted in the House. Schiff responded by continuing to defend his investigation into the debunked allegations of collusion between Trump and Russia, which were further discredited earlier this year by special counsel John Durham. Are you aware, Schiff said to Comer, that the president's campaign chairman Paul Manafort secretly met with an agent of Russian intelligence and provided Russian intelligence with internal campaign polling data as well as strategic insights about their intelligence in key battleground states? Are you aware of that? Comer responded, I think everyone is aware of every bit of information that you all have tried to peddle over the last 4 years. Comer then brought up Hunter Biden's business dealings and asked why Schiff didn't bother to investigate those. Are you aware of President Biden's son Hunter's art dealings, Comer asked? Are you aware of the president's son's dealings in Congo with the cobalt mine? Are you aware of the dealings in the Ukraine? But Schiff continued to deflect back to Trump. That sounds about right. Shifty Shift. Fucking hate that guy. It is going to be a short night. Sweet. That means more time with my daughter. I can do that. I mean, I love hanging with y'all. I absolutely love hanging with y'all, but everybody else got somewhere to be today. As crime soared, California adopts tough standard for trucks, lawn equipment. Yeah, I think they're taking out diesel. I think I had read this before on the evening catch-up back when I was doing that. It's crazy. Like, diesel is one of the less polluting ones. It's just more visible. as far as I'm aware, at least as far as I'm, as I remember. What up, Gerald? How you doing? I was wondering if you're going to show. Welcome, bro. It might be a little bit longer of a chat after all. Let's see. Forget speeding tickets. California truck drivers will soon have to watch out for pollution tickets, and forget about vandalism and looting. California's leftist riders will soon have to worry about how they use a leaf blower to attack police. I didn't know they used leaf blowers. Did they? State regulators voted to crack down on heavy-duty trucks weighing more than 14,000 pounds. Those big semi-trailers that make up just 3% of all vehicles in California, but spend so much time on the road that they account for more than half of all pollution from cars and trucks each year. Oh, this is going to be great. Let's make the semi-trucks that are bringing your goods, your foods, your Christmas gifts that you're going to buy, all that stuff. Let's just make them not want to go to California. Like we don't have enough supply chain issues. California being stupid. State regulators voted to crack down on heavy-duty trucks. I already read that. The new rule requires these big trucks, including ones from other states passing through California, to be tested at least 4 times per year to make sure they meet the state standards for particulate matter and ozone pollution. To enforce the rule, state officials say they will install roadside monitoring devices to catch trucks that pollute too much. Automated license plate readers would help authorities identify offenders who could be cited if they refuse to make repairs. The state has 2 of these unattended monitoring devices in place and plans to install more. They resemble toll booths and capture a sample of the truck's exhaust as it passes through without stopping. The advocates say that the mandate by 2009. Environmental advocates say the rule mandated by a 2019 law authored by State Senator Connie Leyva is the most significant action in a dozen years to clean up California's air, which consistently ranks among the district's dirtiest in the country. Yeah. State officials estimate the rules will prevent more than 7,000 premature deaths because of respiratory illness by 2050, avoiding more than $75 billion in healthcare. The proposal is, I don't give a fuck. Further down the road, regulators plan to ban the sale of all new gas-powered cars. So, if you drive a truck through California, you're going to have to get a permit, an extra thing that you're going to have to pay. If you're an owner-operator, you're probably not going to be accepting any loads in or out of California. I know I wouldn't be. And if you're driving for a company like Schneider, like I did, I mean, maybe they'll do it. Some will, some won't. And the shipment, that is the amount of companies that will actually ship stuff to or from California or even go through it, is going to be a lot smaller. California is going to be, just mark my words, when this goes through, did it already go through? Yeah, we'll soon have to watch out. When is it implementing? The proposal is one of a forthcoming dramatic reshape consumer and industry behavior in the nation's most populous state that were yet an independent country would have the world's 5th largest economy. Also on Thursday, the California Air Resource Board agreed to ban the sale of new products run by small gas-powered engines, including leaf blowers, lawnmowers, and portable generators, because those are polluting. Something more horrible, I guess. A rule recently mandated by the state Democratic-dominated state legislature. Next year, regulators are poised to tighten emission standards for barges, ferries, fishing boats, tugboats. That's the line California's coastal cities. While the new smog check rules for big trucks will have the largest impact on air quality, preventing more than 680,000 tons of smog by 2050, banning the sale of new gas-powered lawn equipment will be the rule consumers notice the most. Yeah. Can you imagine having to power yours with getting one of those electric lawnmowers or electric leaf blowers? Those things always don't do as good of a job. I've never seen an electric lawnmower do anything decent, but I haven't had a lot of them either. So nobody will have to give up or stop using equipment they already own. Oh, just the sale. So they're gonna buy that shit out of state and bring it in. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry. Hi Brenda, how you doing? It's been a minute. Hope all is well. Your birthday sounded really cool. Had a lot of people over there. You had a party going on. I want a party for my birthday. Don't know enough people local. Nobody will have to give or that. The rules, yeah, I don't care. Let's see. Trucking companies and small engine manufacturers have mostly been concerned about how fast these new standards would be imposed. Both the smog check rules for trucks and the ban on the sale of new gas-powered lawn equipment would be fully implemented by 2024. So, in 2025, mark my words, they're going to be bitching about how they don't have enough truck drivers delivering stuff in and out of California. And I don't know what they'll do about it, but I mean, nobody's going to want to do that. Brenda said hi back. Cool. While a similar ban sales of new gas-powered generators would take effect in 2028, some trucking industry representatives urged regulators to first test the rule with a pilot program before implementing it statewide. Parts truckers need to comply with these rules are becoming harder and more expensive to find, raising fears it could force some trucks off the road while waiting for repairs and could worsen supply chain problems that have hobbled businesses and frustrated consumers. Exactly. This person, Vice President of Government Affairs with the California Trucking Association, said one sensor trucks often normally cost around $300, now costs $7,000. That's it. Biden did that. I don't know if Biden did that. Trump did a lot of that shit too with all the stimulus checks that he sent out. New rules do allow for extensions for people who have trouble getting parts. We just want to make sure that, again, anybody experiencing those sort of issues is not left high and dry. Yeah. For new products such as learn. Yeah. I read way too much of that story. My apologies. Did you tell her I sent a hugging emoji? Is that the hugging emoji? I thought that was the...
No, it's the hug emoji.
U.S. commander is saying that Al-Qaeda re-emerging very hard to track after withdrawal. Wow. The Al-Qaeda extremist group has grown slightly inside Afghanistan since U.S. forces left. The new Taliban leaders are divided over whether to fulfill their 2020 pledge to break ties with the group. The top U.S. commander in the region said on Thursday, Marine General Frank McKenzie, head of the U.S. Central Command, said in an interview with Associated Press that the departure of the U.S. military and intelligence assets from Afghanistan has made it much harder to track Al-Qaeda and other extremist groups. We're probably at about 1 or 2% of the capabilities we once had to look into Afghanistan. 1 to 2%, 98% of the stuff going on there you have no idea about. Damn. Makes it very hard, not impossible, to ensure that neither Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State group Afghanistan affiliate can pose a threat to the U.S. Speaking at the Pentagon, McKenzie said it's clear that Al-Qaeda is attempting to rebuild its presence inside of Afghanistan, which was the base from which it planned 9/11. He said some militants are coming into the country through its porous borders, but it's hard for the U.S. to track numbers. Yeah, it's a long story too. I'm not going to read that. I'm going to throw it to the chat and I'm going to yap at Gerald for a little bit, but I'll let you know right now, Gerald, since nobody else really in here, I'll probably just yap at you for about a half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and then I want to bounce. So, just because I don't know. So let me go ahead and throw out the link for everybody who wants to join, if anybody does want to join. So there is the link. And let me pin it. Awesome. I don't know. It's been an interesting week. We had I told this on my channel. I haven't told it here, but on Monday, I had a guy that was walking down the street on the gravel of the road. We don't have a sidewalk on my street. At least, yeah, we don't have a sidewalk on this side of the street. So sometimes people will walk a little bit on my yard. It's kind of like, I wish you wouldn't, but I don't really say much because it is what it is. As long as they don't come on my yard, I have no problem. I mean, it is on my yard, but you know what I mean. It's right there. So he's walking. I'm like, okay, I see you, and I'm outside, so he sees me, and then he sees me and comes at me. Not comes at me, but turns at me, and starts asking me if I want to buy a hose. Yes, I was waiting for you all day. Where is said hose? He didn't have a hose on him, but he wants to sell me a hose. I'm not in the market for a hose right now, and if I was, I'd probably buy it from Ace Hardware, not from somebody walking down the street. Now the guy doesn't look homeless, but he doesn't look right. There's something off about him that's off-putting. So I said, no, thank you. He goes on. I don't really think much of it. The next day on Tuesday, he knocks on our door. I was busy doing something. I think Nugs saw him first. Riddle saw him first. And she's the one that answered the door. I heard the voice. I recognized the voice. And I get ready. And this time, he's asking her if she wants him to hang up some Christmas lights around the house. Once again, no thank you. And please get off my property at that point, right? And then later that night, Tuesday night, I'm on Twitch playing games or whatever. I'm hyper focused on the computer screen. The monitor for all the cameras is over to my left, which I usually peer at, especially even when I'm talking on the Dragon or on my channel. If it's just lazy, I'll just peek over every once in a while. I wasn't peeking over. Nugs, or Riddle Girl, she saw it. Apparently in our neighbors, because our camera gets the neighbor's house just a little bit, it's carport. And she sees somebody in the carport. And she goes out the door. I don't know if she went out the door or saw anything until the door slams and I hear her yelling, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" Or "What are you doing here?" And at that point, with the door slamming and the inflection in her voice that I actually did hear, I just bailed, looked for the shotgun, which wasn't there, and immediately went out with just the sidearm. And he was leaving the property, and then I confronted him, and well, I should have probably turned him in, but let's just say he shouldn't be back. If he does come back, then yeah, I'll have to get law enforcement involved. But so far, so good. He hasn't been back. But that was a little bit didn't like it much. All right, let's see if Gerald's in. Ooh, we got Nugs in too. No way. What up, everybody?
Hello.
Why is that not happening? Oh yeah. There we go. That's much better.
I had to come downstairs. Brenda's on the phone and watching TV, so.
Well, those are the important things. Wow, we get blessed with Nugs in the house?
Yeah, that don't happen very often.
No, she got her green. Well, it's not a green screen, but it's one of those little removes your background. Yeah, virtual background. There you go. You miss smoking? Hey, Amanda Robbins, thank you so much for coming in here and spamming me so that I can remove your comment and add you to the block list. I don't know why anybody does that. I mean, does anybody click on that shit?
God, I would hope not. I did go ahead and type it into my private browser though, and it's a nudie site.
Oh. Okay, maybe some people here will click it then. Let me take care of that. What's been going on with you this week, Gerald?
Not a whole lot. Just hanging out here at the house, watching the crazy weather we're getting.
Oh yeah, what kind of weather are you getting now? Is it
It
still
was
snowing?
six. It was 6 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning, and by tomorrow night it's supposed to be 48.
48 degrees.
Yeah,
Wow. Thanks,
and
thanks,
well,
Archangel. Go ahead.
we got a nice storm supposed to be coming through tonight, and they said it'll be iced up out there till around 3 o'clock tomorrow before it changes to straight rain.
Sleep, man. Oh my goodness.
We got an inch of snow yesterday.
Well, an inch ain't nothing.
No, it was all powder. Just I went out with a broom and swept off the porch. Didn't have to dig a shovel out for that.
Right on.
I'm not complaining. Every time we don't get more than 3 inches of snow, I don't have to have my driveway plowed out.
You don't have
Right.
a snowplow yourself?
No, too
See,
much headaches.
I don't know. I never had one. Like, we lived in Wisconsin for 10 years and we always had the shovel, and I absolutely hated it. And every time I saw a neighbor just walking a snow blower, I'm like, motherfucker. I want one of those so bad, but I never had the money. I was like, if I ever move back to a snowy area, I demand a snowblower.
Well,
That's
that one neighbor always blew their snow onto our path after I'd already shoveled it. Made me mad.
I had a pickup with a plow on it. One storm, all I did was go down and plow my grandfather's driveway out, my dad's driveway out, my driveway out. Between doing those three driveways, cost me $200 in parts that day
Mm.
on the plow.
So the plow failed, not the truck, or what?
Yeah,
You'd think
I
that would
broke.
be a pretty easy thing not to fail. It's steel, isn't it?
Yeah, but actually, it's like a pop aluminum on the hydraulic tank on the pump, bolted onto the engine. The return line on the tank snapped off. Had to buy a new pump, new tank. Broke up fitting off the plow blade. It was a hell of a day. Got everything fixed back up. Truck pissed me off to the point where I said, "Screw it." Put it for sale in the local paper. That same afternoon, the next morning, I had like 6 calls on the truck. Everybody asked if the truck was still there and where it was. I told them right where it was and said it's still here right now, but started getting a bunch of calls on it.
Okay.
One guy come over and looked at it. He offered me about half of what I had it listed for.
Oh,
And I kind of laughed at him. I said, "Nah, I've got a bunch of other people coming over to look at it anyway."
half. Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
insulting.
And as soon as one of the other guys pulled in the driveway,
Yeah.
he looked at the guy and says, "Never mind, it's sold." He gave me the asking price.
Really? I hate that part of selling shit.
He,
Like,
well, when
I
he,
always have
he
to raise my price just so that they can feel like they can Jew me down.
yeah, well, that's what I did.
Yeah, you have to.
I put it in $500 more than I really wanted for. I figured I'd let him Jew me down $500. Everybody be happy.
No. Yeah, I remember listing a car and I said this amount firm, and I meant firm. And everybody was haggling me. And I was like, you know what? Let me remove that posting. I removed it and I just upped it by the amount they were trying to talk me down. And then I put it back up. And guess what? I got what I wanted without having to put the firm on there. Because I don't care if you put firm or not, they're still going to try to whittle you down.
Oh yeah, it was funny though. The guy offered me half it. I says, "I've got a bunch of other people coming to look at it." I said, "You were like the second call I got today." And I said, "Another guy's coming from Ellsworth, and he'd come from Milo." And I think he thought I was bluffing because he offered me half, went back out to his vehicle. He was talking to his buddy and stuff. The other guy pulls in the driveway, says, "Is that the truck for sale?" I said, "Yep." The guy says, "Nope, I just bought it." I looked at him, I said, "Geez, you only offered me half of that for an hour ago." He goes, "I thought you was bluffing about other people looking at it." I said, "Think about it. We just had a foot of snow yesterday." I said, "That was the first snowstorm of the year."
Well, shit. That might be a good way for me to increase the value on my F-150 so I can sell it. I'll go get me a used plow, gussy it up, get all the rust off, repaint it, make it look brand new. Oh yeah, I just
Yeah,
put that on. It's brand new.
yeah, but it's not full drive, is it?
No. And we don't
You
get
gotta
snow in Arizona. I got to figure out a way to make it worth more here. I mean, there is up in northern Arizona, and every once in a while you get a guy with a truck with a plow. My dad had a truck with a plow for a while, not while I was living with him, but when I was an adult living in Wisconsin, actually, we were talking about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got a truck with a plow." I'm like, "Dude, you live in Chino Valley. It gets like 3 feet of snow a year." Yeah, but when that 3 feet hits, I get paid. I go over here and I plow these out for like, I don't know how much. I think it was like $50 a parking lot or some shit. So maybe
Well, heck, I pay 30 to have my driveway plowed. That's why I said a non-plowable amount does me fine.
Yeah, for me, when we were in Wisconsin, it was mostly just the sidewalk and the driveway, the little. I mean, it's in the city. We're in the city there, so everything's paved with concrete, and it's all cracked and cracked concrete is the worst to try to shovel because you can't see where the cracks are. You can kind of like remember kind of where they are, but you never.
Oh yeah, the shovel always catches up. And
Fucking
hold on,
hated it so
I
bad.
got dogs wanting in.
Oh, all right.
I made the sink of letting them all out when I came downstairs.
Let's see. Is anybody chatting? I don't think so. Oh, Armed Dark Angel did do a water gun. Looks like a water gun. That's pretty cool. Are they? Armed Dark Angel was on it. Like I was already going to delete her comment and all that and ban her. He was already there. I clicked it. I'm like, why isn't this working? And I checked it. It's like, oh, it's already happened. Okay. I need more people like that.
I let 4 in and 1 out. Hey guys, can I have a couple of feet space here?
Do they actually know what you just said?
Oh hell no! I've got one laying by my feet right now, one sitting beside me, another one right between the two of them looking at me.
You have food near you?
Nope.
They just like him.
Yeah.
Unlike our
see,
pets that don't really like us that much.
the cat's the only thing around here that doesn't really like me much, except when I'm near where she eats. The only time she'll come near me is if I grab a can of her food and go to open it up, put it in her plate. She'll come up to me and start purring and everything else. If I'm not near the food, forget it. She don't want nothing to do with me. She hears me move and she runs. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Nugs.
Hi, little girl. You decided to lay down at the bottom of the stairs and walk off the stairway again?
Feel like being the troll book. Yeah, I don't know. It was like that quite a few months back. I think almost a year ago. And I remember like it wouldn't happen on live streams though. It would always happen after the video uploaded. First thing, like as soon as it processed and became a video instead of a live stream, I'd get those comments, and I never worried about it because nobody really goes back usually and watches a live stream after it's already been done, right? So I didn't really give a fuck. But on the live stream, that's getting a little bit much now. I don't like that at all. So thank you to all the moderators who are on top of that shit. Anything like that, I mean, go ahead and, I don't know, can moderators block? Or can you just put people in timeout?
Or you just time out.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and, delete comment, time them out and all that. And then as soon as I can get to it, I'll delete it. Usually it's pretty quick because, ban them. Ban them. Usually it's pretty quick, but maybe one night we'll have like 100 people in here. And oh, Nugs bounced. Why'd you bounce? Oh, all right.
Oh, you got the word today. One of my friends and his daughter's got COVID.
How
He
old
said
are
it's
they?
not. He's in his early 40s. She's like 13.
Okay, well, she's going to be fine.
Oh, she's already feeling better and getting
Yeah.
over it.
Does he have any underlying health issues?
Little weight issue. That's about it.
Little weight. How much to you, Gerald, is a little weight? Like, how tall? Like 6 foot?
Greg's about 6'1",
Okay.
about 260.
Oh, okay. That's about my weight. All right. Fairly active. Is he a smoker?
Of course, he's a smoker
Okay.
and a drinker and a pot smoker. And
All right. Well, the pot, I think, will help.
yeah. Well, he said.
He might have to switch to edibles for a little while, though.
Oh, he said all he's really got sniffles, sore throat, and he just generally feels like crap. He said all his muscles seem to be achy and sore. And he said no high fevers or anything.
That's good. It's crazy, right? So I was at the barbershop this evening before I came on here. That's why I look so fly. But they were talking in there. Somebody had just gotten over COVID. Me and Riddle were talking. I'm like, man, we don't ever wear a mask. We never social distance. I sometimes don't wash my hands enough, right? So I'm not like the most I'm not a germaphobe at all. I'll lick a fucking doorknob in a hospital. I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I think it helps the immune system. The more you put into your body like that, and people think I'm gross when I say lick a doorknob in a hospital. The more you put in your body like that, the more your body learns how to fight that shit. Look at there are snake handlers that purposely get a snake to bite them, rattlesnake venom, a little bit at a time, or well, actually, I guess they'll do it in a needle
to get it immune to the rattlesnake venom.
And eventually, they build up a tolerance to that shit. It's just another example, in my opinion. So I don't ever try to be like extra sanitary all the time, but I mean, I ain't nasty.
Well, it's like me and the wife were talking. You got half the kids now that if they went outside and played in the dirt, they'd get in trouble for getting all dirty.
Yeah. And dude, I've had like the flu 3 times in my life.
I've seen my grandkid come in after a good rain. He'd go outside and play in the yard here.
Right.
And my driveway's kind of like on a little hill. So all the water runs downhill right in the middle of the driveway where it flattens out down bottom. And hell, I've got a small lake down there now from that little puddle. And he'll be down in the driveway catching frogs, and he'll come up right completely covered in mud, soaked. His mother will look at him. She go, "Jesus, did you have to get that muddy?" The wife will look at it. It'll hose off.
First of all, I think my volume is super low. I'm gonna turn myself up, so everybody who is listening to my voice, including you, Gerald, you might want to turn me down a little bit. All right, I'm going to talk lightly, but my volume should, be more in line with Gerald. I think Gerald was a lot higher. That thing resets to 50% all the time. I always forget to jack it back up. Armed Archangel just shared a link, which I can't believe it's on YouTube. I got it pinned. I'm ready to watch it as soon as I'm off of here. They're saying that most Omicron patients, is that the new variant? Oh my God, I
Yeah.
didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that's new. But anyway, most of the Omicron patients are fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Don't
And
talk too
boosted.
much about it, man. We don't want to get in trouble here.
Well, heck, they're saying a lot of them have already had COVID.
Right.
So even the natural immunity ain't working for it.
Meanwhile, I'm over here starting to really lick doorknobs in hospitals and be a little bit extra, like, come on, immune system, build up a tolerance.
Well, everybody's saying that it's mild to moderate on the Omicron for symptoms. So if it's mild to moderate, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
It
Sounds like the flu. I said it pretty soon after the COVID even started. Like, you wait, this is the medical 9/11. We will be in the post-COVID world for the next 20 years at least, because we are still in the post 9/11 world 20 years after. So you mark my words. Well, I'll probably be dead in 20 years, but we'll still be talking about COVID something.
Well, they said it's just
Like my fancy house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said our common flu is a strain of the Spanish flu from 1912. So
Yeah.
they're saying this one's going to stick around just like that one did. Just going to keep mutating.
The only reason I think I might be wrong on how long we'll be talking about COVID, maybe it'll be shorter, is because people are starting to think, you know what? I'm done. I did that social distancing. I did wear my mask. I got the shot. Okay, I'm done. I'm not doing no more, because now I ain't getting another shot every damn time. There are a lot of people that, bought into it that are now getting fed up with it, and I can see it in my local area. So for me, I'm thinking they're going to have to switch it up. They're still going to try to push the fear. Obviously, they got to push the fear in something. But it might not be that, just because people are fed up with this shit. They've already done what they were told, and they're not doing it anymore. And you know what? My friend had it, and all he had was the sniffles. He didn't even give a fever, right? Barely a cough. I ain't getting a shot for that. I felt like shit the last time I got a shot. Possibly, they might say.
Greg said today he wished he'd have gotten his shot.
Really?
Well, yeah. The company he works for, he's on 2 weeks off right now because he tested positive.
Hopefully
So
paid.
Well, if he was shotted, it would have been paid.
Oh. Wah, wah. No money for you.
Exactly.
I hope he had Aflac. Now, Aflac would pay him off. Get this. So we had insurance back in, I don't know, it was 2017 or something like that.
Yep.
And
2017.
And I broke my ankle when we were moving up to Ash Fork. And she also had Aflac. So the insurance paid the bill, 100%. We didn't have to pay shit. Yet Aflac also paid the bill, but paid us $12,000. And that was a blessing that we didn't. Well, first of all, I was pretty happy that I was looking at a 1969 Dodge Charger that needed a shit ton of work, but I could afford, right? I had already spent that money. And then we find out that the new property in Ash Fork, it does have solar power, but the batteries are shot and the solar panels are old and not very efficient. And as soon as the sun sets, the power cuts off. And Riddle has to work from home remotely and has to have the internet, which has to have power. So luckily we were able to pay $8,000 into, brand new panels and new batteries, a whole new setup, and we were 100% off grid on that. And we would have never been able to afford that if we hadn't had that Aflac payment. Get Aflac even if you have insurance.
Like he said though, he knew the consequences of not getting shotted, so he said, "Screw it." He still ain't getting shotted, but
Yeah.
just that he gets to go 2 weeks without a paycheck. That's all.
Yeah.
The company that I work for
Need to get a
is
side job or a side hustle.
Well, he does a lot of
Side
stuff
Nugs.
on the side anyway, but
Go ahead, Nugs.
I was just saying that the company that I work for is trying to insist that even those who have an exception to work from home would still have to either get shotted or do weekly testing.
Yeah.
So I am not amused.
Really,
See?
they're gonna make you do weekly testing?
Yeah, so, I've decided that, I'll just run that little thing around the toilet bowl and
send it in.
You got a little fecal matter in your nasal cavity. It's because I'm an ass kisser, and
Well, University of Maine caught one of their main offices crews had a bunch of COVID cases. They found it, detected it in the sewer system.
there you go.
And
I'll just have Roxy lick it.
They say the anal swab is more accurate than the nasal swab.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that shit. That was hilarious.
Oh, it was hilarious when I went in for the day I went in for surgery on my ankle. They told me they had to give me a COVID test before I went in, one of the rapid tests. And the nurse brings out the swab and stuff, and I says, "Oh, is this for the anal swab? I heard that was more accurate." My wife about lost it.
Nice.
She looked at me just laughing. The nurse was laughing. She goes, "No, we just got to get a couple burgers on this one."
Ugh. Okay, so luckily they didn't have the vaccine yet, and we had scheduled our surgeries. I think it was in January, so right a little bit before this whole pandemic lit off, right? And as it was lighting off, we're like, oh shit, they're shutting down elective surgeries. And if, we might be affected by this, they might move our dates further back. And then who knows how long this pandemic's going to last, because, we're still in the early stages of it. This could be the end, right? The world population down to like 500,000 people. The Walking Dead. I'm thinking, oh, shit, we might never be able to get it. And so hoping and praying, and luckily we were able to, but it was right at the time they're talking about a vaccine. And now I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to get in there and get this done. Actually, no, that was before the vaccine. So I thought, well, there might be a rule later on that you can't get an elective surgery unless you've been vaccinated, right? That's a worry that I had.
That's what they did here.
Did they?
Yep.
Damn. So I don't know if they've done it in Arizona, but that was a reason why we're like, I hope we don't have to push it back, because if we do have to push it back, they might make you have to have the vaccine or no elective surgery, right? I'm like, luckily I got in before that happened. So did she. So now
very happy about that.
That's the only elective surgery I need.
Well, what I think's funny though is we went through 18 months of lockdown here, and screwy rules and everything else. Today's COVID count, the county I live in had more cases today than any day in the whole state during that whole lockdown.
And look at Florida, man. No lockdown. No, South Dakota, no lockdown. Arizona, not much. a few businesses were closed, but you could still go out and do things at the Walmart or wherever else that was still open because they paid the government money to stay open. All the mom and pops had to close down, but oh, guess what?
The store was open. Remember?
Ice cream store was open. Safeway was
Walmart
open. You had to get your
Walmart
groceries.
was open.
Mm-hmm. Your
Walmart
local.
was open. Walmart was open. Target was open.
Yep, all the fast food joints. Oh, they had to be open, but all the restaurants you could sit at, no, can't do that. You're gonna. Then they became delivery restaurants. That's when we started driving for Uber Eats, actually.
Yeah.
And we made bank. Or no, we did it the year before. Sorry. I was wrong on that. I didn't mean to lie.
I've got a friend of mine drives for DoorDash.
Yeah.
She says she can go in and work from like 10 to 3 and pocket $100 after paying fuel and everything.
Yeah. Well, we made out all right at the beginning, but eventually they kept giving us less and requiring from us more, and we didn't have like the most fuel efficient vehicle. So it was like, no, I mean, financially we have to work almost 8 hours just to, make a little, like $50, $60 at the end of the night. And there's a lot of people that do not tip. Let me tell you. It's like 10% of the people that we delivered to would tip us. And then, I mean, it was just a decent tip, like a couple bucks, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I say, a friend of mine drives for DoorDash, but they're also doing Grubhub too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you can choose when you're on and when you're off. There's we see so many cars that have Lyft, Uber,
Yeah.
all these share rides, and you're like, holy shit. And that's how you beat it, because we were only doing Uber Eats, right? And we would have downtime. We would just sit there. And thinking of it, that's when we were like, we're losing money. We're just sitting here. It's fucking cold. We're running the vehicle so we can stay warm and charge our phones. Like, this is bullshit.
It's like, it's Brenda's old boss that she worked for that's doing it. And, she was showing the apps on the phone that she's got. She can open up Grubhub and the other one there and pick where she wants to deliver to. And like she said, there's always a bunch on there that they're looking for somebody to go to.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I don't know if people were doing it when we were driving, or maybe they were, but I don't know. We didn't think of that. That is smart as shit. That's how you make money, and you always are moving. You always have a run instead of just sitting there and not doing a damn thing.
Well, she said she hated
roadie driver.
The out of town runs, like the run to Herman or Carmel, which is like the next towns away from Bangor,
right
on the outskirts of Bangor. But like she said, hell, by the time you run out there, you're 20 minutes away from where the restaurants and shit are. So you got to go.
It's that drive back, yeah. Not such a problem here in the metropolis of Phoenix. you can go where at night it'll take you an hour to get from one side of the city to the other. Now, that's Phoenix and all the surrounding areas. I'm talking city is you can't tell where Mesa ends and Tempe begins. It's just city. It's all a big city. So it takes you about an hour at, let's say, midnight to drive through this city. During the daytime, it's at least 2 to 3, depending on the time. You try rush hour on the I-10, fuck, you're going to be there for a few minutes.
See, Bangor's population is only about 33,000.
What is roadie driver? Armed Archangel, is that YouTube? Is it like a YouTube upload videos? Is it a streaming thing? Is it a like a Twitter? Is it Facebook? Is
You
it a
got back,
porno site where I can show my man titties?
like around here, like Bangor and Brewer, two different cities, but they've got 3 connecting bridges between the 2 cities.
Yeah, and you can probably tell where one
Instead of
city
crossing,
begins and another one ends. I mean, there's
well,
a
yeah,
gap.
there's a sign on the middle of the bridge says
Yeah, well, yeah.
Bangor Brewer.
I mean, we got signs that says "Welcome to Tempe," but I mean, if you blink, you ain't gonna see that, and you wouldn't have noticed.
It's,
I mean,
it's on the middle. It's on the middle of the bridge. So
but I would imagine the cities aren't that close, are they? Can you see
Bangor,
city from city?
yeah, you can see Bangor from Brewer. Like I said, it's just across the Penobscot River.
All right, well, there you
We've
go.
got 3 bridges that run across the Penobscot right in Bangor.
Delivery. What's delivery? What?
But Brewer's only got like
But it says roadie is the easiest, most flexible way to make extra cash in the gig economy. Drivers can earn $8 to $60
okay.
on local gigs. Choose deliveries that fit your schedule. See pickup and drop off details before you offer. Yeah.
Like Home Depot. Cool, dude. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, we teamed. We weren't supposed to, but we team drove that shit. I drove and she delivered, and that was mostly because I didn't want to get up and get out and in and out all the time because I was fat and I didn't want to. But now it's not so bad. I could probably do it now, no problem. And I got a truck. Shit, Home Depot. I'll bring you lumber. And those kind of people will tip you, probably, maybe. It was funny. Anytime that we were delivering and we went into their driveway or whatever, and I saw like a Marine Corps or U.S. Army flag or any kind of military shit, I was like, this one's gonna tip us. Usually did.
well, heck, I remember when I worked for a junkyard up here, auto parts junkyard. Heck, well, I had some of the customers that recognized my pickup. When they pull in, they'd say, "Hey, who owns that truck out there?" My boss would say that I did, and say, "Hey, can you get him to drop off a motor on his way by on his way home tonight?"
You were an Uber driver before you knew it.
Before Uber was
Man, you
around.
could have made $1 million. Probably more than that. Although I don't understand. Like when I drove a cab.
It was usually good for a 12-pack and $25.
I drove cab in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, right? Very small town, like 5,000 people, right? And shit, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh. Nah, I lost it. Oh, no. Okay. How did Uber get away with it? That was where I was going. How did Uber get away with it? Because when I was a taxi driver in Fond du Lac, I had to drop somebody off at the Chicago airport. That was fine. Nobody gave a shit. But that person wanted us to pick him up on his way home, right? So I go down to Chicago's airport to pick him up. We've already dropped him off, and he's already paid for us to come and pick him up. Well, I pick him up, and I get harassed by the police, or the airport police, for picking up a passenger and not being a taxi driver from Chicago. This becomes a whole case, right? It goes to court. Luckily, I didn't have to go to court, but like my name is on this shit to this day for some sort of ruling. I don't know how the ruling came out, but I believe our team won. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of rules. Like the taxi industry makes sure that you have to play by those rules. You have to have the right licensing. You have to do this. You have to do that. And when people were starting to do that, I would imagine taxi companies were calling bullshit because they should be held to the same regulations as they are a tax because originally it was Uber, and Uber was a taxi service. And it was clearly a taxi service that was not doing it by the rules. And therefore, they should have been in violation of the law. And I don't know how they weren't. But they must have paid somebody off.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Misty
Well,
Wissy.
They did the same thing around here when Uber and Lyft first started up. Taxi companies went ape shit crazy.
Well, what do you love, Misty Wisty? What do you love about the stream? Like, what's your favorite part? You definitely would be a interesting conversation to have. How you got the name Misty Wisty and wound up in this chat. What up, Biker Bob? How you doing, bro? How's life treating you in Canada, right? Yeah, you Canadian? Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? He was born that way. Maybe I don't assume too much, but how's the assault weapon ban going? Did you have to get rid of anything? Did you have to modify anything? Is there anything that you don't want to talk about?
I'm surprised he didn't grab the link and come in.
Yeah. Misty
You
5.
should come in, Biker Bob.
Yeah,
That
go
way
ahead
I
and
can
time
go.
her out. I don't know. I'll just time her out. Yeah, just time her out. I don't think I'll block her. I will if it happens again, though, for sure. I'll give her a timeout. And why does it always get cold when I get high? I got the damn heater up to 78 degrees and I'm cold. I'm about to turn this bitch up to 80.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking
I don't know,
cold.
but it's a thing. Like we get cold. Do you get cold, Gerald?
Yes. And I hate it.
Oh, I hate it.
It's chilly here in the kitchen right now.
Well, yeah, but you are in Maine as well.
I just looked at the thermostat. It's 68 in here and it's set for 72.
Nice reply, Biker Bob. Exactly.
Upstairs, it's about 80.
80 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you keep it pretty warm. Yeah, the man, I get
Well, all the heat rises right up that staircase.
How do you heat? You heat with gas, liquid?
I've got an oil-fired boiler,
Oh yeah.
hot water baseboard, and
Now,
well,
explain to me.
replace-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
It's time for me to replace the front door because you can see air leak all the way around the damn door.
Okay, I
Yes.
have no idea what you're talking about because I don't really know much about oil heaters, right? I've only heard of like the old school oil heaters in the East, but I've grown up in Arizona. We didn't have that shit. Okay. So I have all I have is like a story of one night her oil caught fire because it was hardly flammable. So please explain to me the basics of an oil heater. What is it? Okay, sorry.
It's a furnace. It runs on diesel fuel.
Diesel.
Off-road diesel.
And it's a certain
Remember-
color of diesel fuel, right?
They dye it red so that way, if you put it in your fuel tank, you get the big fine for every gallon that your fuel tank holds for tax.
Okay. Also, what else can you use red diesel in? Anything else or nothing?
Off-road tractors,
Like for farm equipment tractors?
farm equipment, skidders, construction equipment.
All right. Well, that's at least a little better. Now, can I put dye in my own diesel?
No, not unless it's an off-road vehicle. If you're going to run on the highway,
No. If I wanted to do it gangster style. Like, can
Yeah,
yellow and
you
blue
could
make
till
green?
you couldn't till you get caught.
So if I had, yeah, yellow and blue make green, dude. Like, if I want green diesel, I'm
Well,
mixing those colors. I don't know, food
this is
coloring.
red.
Will that fuck up? Will that fuck up a diesel engine food coloring? I don't know what they use to color it with.
It shouldn't. All it is a dye.
All right. I don't know. I got so many questions because I've never had anybody to answer these before. Oh, Bob's in the house. Hold up.
Well, you drove truck. Did you haul a reefer by any chance?
No. I just
the
hauled
stuff-
boring old trailers full of recyclables, bro.
Because the stuff they put in that reefer tank is off-road diesel,
All right. What up, Micah
No.
Bob?
not for highway use.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the oil, well, they call it oil, but it's diesel. And it heats up what? It heats up water?
Yeah, what I've got is they call it a super efficient boiler. It's a Biazzi boiler. I've got a fucking Riello burner on the damn thing. And it only heats up 1.7 gallons at a time, so
Of
it
water.
doesn't take a lot of water.
Okay.
And the water goes
It's
through-
steam.
It only goes up to like 182 degrees. Comes out of the furnace, goes through a coil through my water tank, circulates back to the furnace for the domestic hot water, and then I've got circulation pumps that'll pump it to each zone.
Yeah, you got heated floors through that, right?
No, I've got baseboards all
Okay.
around it. I wanted to do the heated floors, but
Because the heated
Price
floors, sorry.
price wise, I couldn't afford it.
Well, heated floors around here are electric. I haven't heard of anything other than electric ones.
You couldn't afford electric up here.
Yeah.
Just my standard electric bill with oil hot water, oil fired hot water and everything. So it's not an electric hot water heater. Still paying around $135 a month here. And we just got notification last week as of January 1st. It's kind of screwed up the way they break up our light bill. We've got the power that we got to buy, and then we got a delivery fee. Well, the delivery fees staying the same, but the power we're using is going up 83%.
Whoa. Dude.
January 1st. They said the average customer is going to notice about a $35 a month increase.
I'd be looking at solar if you can. But
Oh, I've been looking at it for a while.
it was a blessing. I only had it for like 9 months, bro, but I had no power bill at all. I mean, yeah, it was $8,000, but it was a pretty good size home. Obviously, you couldn't use a hair dryer with something else, and you only could use a hair dryer during the day because the batteries would really fucking drain. Anything that was a heated coil was a real touchy subject, right? So toasters, microwaves, fucking my mom had this hair curler she was insisted upon. Come on, mom. But yeah, we were self-sufficient, not a power bill after that for 9 months for us and like a year or 9 months for her. So
Yeah, we're one of the highest utility states in the country.
do you know the
No,
rules? Do you know the rules on solar there?
We can have it.
Okay,
It's not a problem.
close that
A
door.
lot
It
of
is
people
cold.
do. Now they're building solar farms everywhere around here.
Yeah, especially if you could get one of those ones with the solar tracker. That's what
Yeah.
I wanted to do. Oh, I wanted to do that so bad because you could definitely tell, like, there were parts of the day that we could get more optimization out of if we just had one that tracked the sun.
I was looking at one, they call it sunflower. It closes itself up at night. As soon as the sun comes up in the morning, it opens itself up, fans out, and it follows the sun around all day.
That's cool.
You
All
get
right.
it, when you order it, they'll come out. They'll pull a GPS on the location right where it's going,
Right.
and it's completely set up for the angles and everything right there before it even comes to your place.
All right.
So-
Bob wants to talk. Hold up, Bob. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just want to say I think I finally got it to work. I'm sorry. What? Like, did I boot?
Oh no,
The
no,
other
no.
Oh.
She wanted to go outside.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I was worried about that, but I couldn't get it to work for a minute. I got Starlink, so I mean, I should have decent internet.
Yeah. Sound's coming in great. You had video on earlier.
Yeah, well, the video was working, I think, but
Yeah.
I got this whole thing with a laptop, and I'm watching a
Hey,
TV.
hey,
and,
you do you, man. Voice is fine with me. I don't care. I've seen
Yeah,
you
that's-
before. I know what you look like.
No, I think it works. It's just tonight. Let's see, where is that thing? Okay, start cam. See, I got to do that, but then my laptop's right in front of my TV. Well, actually, that kind of works as long as I don't have to mute or something.
Damn, it's cold.
Right?
Fuck you, hot cold.
Just had to open the door and let the damn dog in.
My pipes have been freezing up already.
So what is the temperature like at your place, Bob?
It's just a couple of degrees below freezing.
Oh, it's around 30. Oh, just the start of it.
What do you call a couple? 40, 50?
No, that comes around January.
Yeah, January and February were the worst.
Yeah, it will go minus 30. 2 days later, it's like plus 30. And I'm talking centigrade, right? So that's like
Oh, okay. Whew.
way below freezing. Well, actually, plus 30 is getting pretty close to what you guys' Fahrenheit is, eh? So it'd be like about minus 20 Fahrenheit. So-
Yeah, 30 degrees for you is like 60 or 70 for us, I think, off the top of my
you
head.
know, yeah. Translate to Fahrenheit because I actually was in school when Canada changed.
Mm.
I was in 12, and all of a sudden they went, "Oh, now we're using Celsius," and I'm like, "What? You mean meters? Wait,
You know,
wait,
they started talking
I'm
about
just
that change
telling
here back when I was in school. We still ain't done it.
Well, what I always liked was freezing for you guys is 0 and freezing for us is 32.
yeah."
So that's where I start, and I kind of base everything from that. So yeah.
See, when I was a kid, it was 32, right? That was freezing because
Yeah.
we used Fahrenheit up until I was like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
It was so fucking weird. Like we used gallons. We still, to this day, use, you ask somebody, "Oh, what kind of mileage you get?" "Oh, about 25, 30 miles per gallon."
What's that in meters, bitch?
What's that? How
Like,
many
I don't know. Because they do this 100 kilometers per, like,
Yeah, I'm no good with all that shit.
per liter?
I can kind of do meters, but not
Hey.
kilometers.
yeah, it makes no sense to me. Well, kilometers aren't that bad, right? Because 100 kilometers is 60 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour is 1 hour. So I just go, 100 kilometers is 1 hour. So it's like, and here, if you want to go drive
pretty good.
somewhere, 700 kilometers to the next city. Okay.
7 hours.
Yeah. Right? 7
So
hours.
if that's 60 miles an hour, I mean, if that's the speed limit, which I'm guessing is around 60 miles an hour, it's like 60 miles.
It's 100 kilometers an hour, which is about 62 miles an hour or something, or 60 miles,
Yeah.
And same with like 55 is basically, 90 kilometers an hour.
I know that my truck has it on its speedometer, thank God, if I ever went to Canada. I mean, I drove through Canada as a truck driver for Schneider, so I was lucky to have it on that one too, and that was just kind of how I did it.
You must have been smiling when you see signs that said speed limit 100.
Yeah. I still was still regulated, dude. I was in a Schneider truck. We couldn't go past 65.
Dude, I owned cars where people, like, they used to sell kits where you'd have these little plastic stickers you'd stick on the speedometer
Yep.
of the car to go, 60 miles an hour is 100 kilometers an hour, right?
All right. Yeah, the simplest of markings. Yeah.
Yeah. And you would you'd buy a car and it had those stuck on the dash and you'd just be like, oh, gross, man.
Well, I've noticed with the Canadian cars compared to our cars, like ours will have the miles per hour on the outside, and on the inside of it, it'll have the kilometers per mile.
Yeah.
You take the Canadian cars, it's just the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Kilometers are on the outside and the miles are on the inside.
Some of them they did that with. Now it's because everything's gone. Like you buy a speedometer, it's generic, right?
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I hate when I got into the shooting world, right? Because I kind of grew up around guns, but I had a chunk of my adult life where I wasn't around guns, and I didn't own a gun, and I didn't shoot a gun. And then I got back into firearms and went down that rabbit hole. Anyway, now I'm into guns, right? And I always talked about miles or feet or yards. Okay, how many yards is that? Oh, that's 100 yards. Great. But my scope only does it in meters. I don't know what 1,000 yards is in meters. And, so now I'm getting this frustration.
100 meters is only like 102 yards.
Yeah, I know that now. But at the time, so now everything that's 100 meters for me is 100 yards-ish. And then 200. Once you get out to about 600 meters, that's when you're like sketchy. You're like, I think it's like 650 yards. I don't know.
Oh, no dots on my scope.
You got to stack up, right? It all stacks up, but that's the way I've always been able to deal with the fact that I was already a grown-up when they changed it from kilometers to mile, like miles to kilometers and all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it already was bad enough in Canada because we had a gallon of Canadian gas was more than a gallon of American gas.
Yeah, because it was 5 liters and a gallon of American gas is 4 quarts.
No, it was even before that. It
liters
was
into quarts. That's a whole other.
We were using
the Canadian gallon comes out to 5 liters, whereas an American gallon is only 4 quarts.
Yeah. So it was this really weird.
The Canadian gallons were always a little.
Oh man, this makes me think how
people this side of the border.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder about the canning world then, because here in America, we like to can our own stuff. We can in pints, quarts, half gallons.
Oh no!
If I go to Canada,
that's pretty much universal.
Okay.
That actually, that kind of stuff's always been the same. It's really weird. Like Canada is such a. If you come out west, in Western Canada, it is truly like you couldn't tell the difference between Montana and Alberta. Like, like within, say, 600, 700 miles, it's all blended together, right?
Right.
There's
same terrain, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just because it's the country that shapes you. It's not the... when I say country, I mean where you live, eh?
Oh, yeah. No, we have plenty of places that are close, but not the same. We have cities on the Arizona southern border right up to another city that goes into Mexico. There are people that have to go in and out of Mexico all the time for jobs and stuff like that. And, it's the same culture that heavily Mexican influenced in southern Arizona because,
It used to be all Mexican before, got taken over.
That too.
Right,
remember the Alamo. Remember the Alamo, you know what I mean?
Well, it's just like here. It's like everywhere in Canada they go, oh, this is kind of an Icelandic culture in this part of Canada, and it's kind of a Irish culture in this part of Canada. Yeah, but it used to be Cree mostly.
Well, how about we all go home? I mean, shit. And now everybody's so mixed in anyway. It's like you'd have to go on the highest percentage, which would probably be like 30-something% of whatever you are. I mean, you've seen those DNA tests. You got fucking Elizabeth Warren was 0.17% of a Native American. I mean, there's so many different.
Yeah, most Europeans are going to test about there too. You got to remember, like the Vikings came to North America way before Christopher Columbus, right? Once they did, they brought native people back, right? So they were that blood was already getting into the European, because most of the Vikings ended up, their spawn ended up taking over England, which then took over most of the France, and then France took over England. Anyway,
Yeah,
the whole thing is, there's that bloodline runs all the fucking way through everything.
Well, I
As
think
does
that's right.
African.
Yeah,
I just wish
exactly.
got
And you brought it up, right? If you believe in evolution, or even if you don't, I don't know. They say, most people say, that we all originated from Africa. Let's all go back to Africa. That's where we all originated from. That's the kind of stupidity that we're dealing with these people when they're like,
Leave me here in the main woods.
like, well, your people took over this part of and this was our first. Well, you know what, Mexico? It was the Aztecs before you. Whose was it before that?
Yep. Well, yeah, especially if you just look North America, but like I don't know, guessing, I would say I'm Scottish, right? There's a whole lot of other stuff in there, but Scottish.
Right.
Well, my brother has been to Scotland. He's seen there's a wall on this, moor that has our family crest on it, eh? So, we're the Scottish, robber barons. Okay, that means that land's mine. So, do I get to go back there and just take that?
Yeah, doesn't everybody have a castle in Scotland, though? I think I had fallen for that once. I'm like, ooh, look up my name. I think I have a castle in Scotland.
Exactly.
I
right?
must be royalty. How cool. Yep. And I fell for that shit.
I got to say, my mother's maiden name was James, which used to be the rulers of England before the ones that are ruling it now killed all the Jameses and took over. But,
right. You're probably cousins with William Wallace somewhere down the line. I mean, it's, 6 points of separation.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually probably true.
Yeah.
That would be scary shit, but it's probably true. But anyway, it's everybody belongs somewhere else, but hey, this is where I am now.
Exactly.
I bought my shitty little piece of land. Hey, I'm going to live on it. I can grow food on it. I can have some chickens.
Here's the main question. Do you have a place to exist? Yeah. All right. Did you personally take away somebody else's place to exist? No. All right then. How about we just be where we are? You know what I mean? Just be cool, bro. It don't matter no more.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't understand what all this bullshit. Oh, well, there's so much bullshit going on in the world right now. It's not even.
It's really showing the IQ level of today's people, isn't it? I mean, I'm like, wow, was I the last generation who was brought up to think for themselves instead of what to think?
Oh, yeah, the whole family.
Dude,
I graduated in 95, and by 2000, I saw parents in the store allowing their kids to throw tantrums and giving them what they wanted to have them happy. I'm like, this kid is going to grow up, and the corporate world is going to eat him and spit him out. They're not going to, he's going to want to, I didn't want to get only 10-cent raise on my raise. And they're going to be like, bitch, get the fuck out. And instead, 20 years later, they're not doing that. They're getting, those people are getting exactly what they want, or they will fucking go and cry in the street, and they actually gave to these people. What happened? When did this happen? When did these mothers come in, like, cut their husband's balls off and send them into politics, telling them what to vote on, or what? I don't know how or where. How did that shit happen?
He probably got it from school. The Bristol's got it, and he's got it.
Sorry, I go on tirade sometimes.
Brenda just come downstairs all upset. 3 of the grandkids just tested positive for COVID.
How old are they?
Bristol's 12, JJ's
Wow, that's rare.
16, and Deacon just turned 18.
12 years old, though. That's rare.
Well, they've
They're
already
brothers and sisters right in the same house.
Well, I understand that, but COVID has a way of not targeting younger kids. At least that's what I remember being reported by, trusted news sites like CNN and shit.
The original COVID did. Then it mutated to the Delta. The Delta was supposed to be affecting the kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
The Omicron.
JJ called Brenda to let her know, and he says, Nana, I'm fine. He goes, I'm okay. He goes, I feel like crap, but he goes, I'm fine.
All right.
I said, yeah, but JJ smokes pot. I says, he'll be fine.
That is not us saying that that'll do anything. No medical misinformation here.
Hey, you've heard of Ohio Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
All right, he was on another chat that I was doing on Friday nights, and when this COVID first broke out, he's a cop in Ohio, and he came out and said the latest report is pot smokers get a milder version of it if they catch it at all. They're less likely to catch it than non-pot smokers.
Well, I'll tell you what, in 2020, Arizona got one thing right.
That's because of all the
my grandson JJ, we went over to see him Thanksgiving. The kid goes, hey, save your pot, let's smoke some of mine. He brings out like 3 different ounce bags and says, pick one. Let's roll up a fat one.
Damn.
And he went up. He knew right where my papers were in the truck, so he ran out the truck and grabbed my zigzags. And well, mine are the same size as a 100 paper, but there's no filter on it, and they're about like that wide. And
Wow.
he rolled up something about as big around as my thumb. He goes, this is what a joint's supposed to look like.
I'm good. I'm good.
And he's 16.
Oh my God.
see that's kind of scary to me, right? Like, I mean,
Hey, we were at his mother's house.
oh no, I mean,
At
it's
his mother's kitchen table.
yeah, no, I mean that part's fine, right? As long as they're really responsible about it. But man, I have a problem with, because I know how powerful weed is. I think I smoked it the first time when I was 13, and I didn't touch it again until I was 18.
Yep. And that's a lot like me.
And I'm smoking it right now.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I still smoke a lot because it's legal in Canada, but I smoked it before it was legal too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like,
Well, like his mother said, she'd rather, if he was going to do that, to do it at home instead of out somewhere else.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean,
Do it at home.
I know parents like that, and I know that's a way of parenting. I never bought into that. I as a parent, I was like, nah. If you do it, you better tell me you did it, and you'll be in trouble, but you'll be in a lot more trouble if I catch you doing it. You can do it when you're 18. I don't care, but it wasn't that it was legal or not legal. It wasn't that I agree with smoking weed or not smoking weed. There are just certain things that I would like you to be a little bit older, like before you start doing.
I was 13 when I first started smoking pot. At least he waited till he was 16. And his mother smokes, and her new boyfriend smokes, and JJ smokes. Bristol don't want him
I
to
mean,
be around.
out of
When
all,
they're smoking, she'll leave the room because she can't stand the smell of it.
there are a lot worse things for a kid to get involved with than pot. I'll agree with that. But at the same time,
The kid was drinking like a fish. He stopped by here.
yeah, beer.
Yeah. I was just
Budweiser, my favorite beer.
Here's the thing. Like, you've seen every drug pretty much out there has a happy person or a upset person, like a happy drunk or a mean drunk, right? So you have a happy or a mean. Pretty much every drug other than pot. I've never met a pissed off
Pissed off stoner.
stoner. I've never met one. They're always the friendliest people, and they always want to give you weed. They just want to have a good time.
Exactly. Lay back and
Yeah,
bag of
usually.
burritos and a pizza, and they're fucking golden.
And if they're not all friendly with you, then they're probably just lounging somewhere and wanting something to eat. That's it.
Speaking of nugs, I'm kind of hungry.
Okay. I'll get off of here and take care of that.
Well, why don't you come in here and get something? She chopped to it.
Yeah, but JJ showed up here at our house a couple months ago. Like, he calls us up at like midnight. He says, "Hey, you guys up?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Good." He goes, "I'll be there in about 2 seconds." All of a sudden, he comes walking up in. He's carrying a 6-pack of Sam Adams and a bottle and a fifth of
Get
wild
whatever you want.
turkey. That
8:30.
the honey flavored stuff.
All right.
A fifth of wild turkey. He was 16 when he come walking in with that. It's like, JJ, where the hell you getting this booze from? He goes, "I ain't saying who I'm getting it from." He goes, "You guys won't let me." He goes, "Nobody will let me go there anymore."
You know what that is? That's lack of parenting when they were younger. You need to lay down that respect. You will respect me because I told you you will.
I know, but today women will not let you beat your children.
Well,
I-
The law won't let you around here.
once
Like,
again,
my children are 20 years old, and my ex would not let me beat them like they needed to be in order to be respectful.
so I lucked out. I lucked out a lot. My ex passed. Now, I kind of lucked out in a way, and I kind of didn't luck out in another, right? Her passing obviously affects my child. My child was 8 years old. I had already won custody of my child, but I would still get problems with my ex with all that shit way before all that. And anyway, she passed. And I already had custody, so we moved to Arizona. The new wife was on board. No problem. And even with the ex, I still did. Like, yeah, you can call CPS and you can call it whatever you want, but in Wisconsin, at least at the time, it is still legal to spank your child. And as long as I don't leave a mark on her ass, there ain't nothing you can do about it. So I was able to raise her that way, and she turned out to be a very respectful lady. She's 20 years old now, too. How old are you, Bikes? Are you my age? Are you 46? Because you look old as shit for 46.
Fuck no, I didn't have kids till I was in my 40s.
Holy shit. Okay.
Well, I was busy living life.
There you go.
I had a good time up until,
I didn't meet Brenda till I was in my 30s. And by then, she already had 5 kids. So
Damn.
all the kids I got are stepkids.
Oh, you don't have any kids with Brenda, though?
No, she was already fixed by the time we got together.
I hate it when people say fixed.
me and my ex, we got together when we were both about early 20s, and then we're together until our mid 50s, and then she threw me out.
Yeah.
But we didn't have kids, right? Like we were together for 25 years before we had kids.
So what was her reason that she threw you out?
I was abusing my son because I took his computer away. Yeah, I took his computer away.
That's the real punishment when they become a certain age.
No, it was like it turned out later. She had a guy she'd been seeing and all kinds of other stuff. But you know, that was her excuse, right?
Yeah.
I was being abusive by taking his computer away and being mean to him.
So she's one of these people that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the worst thing you can do for a freaking kid, a small kid, is hand them a smartphone or something to watch fucking videos or shit on.
Yep.
As a babysitter.
I was sad. I was
the electronic babysitter. You put the kid in front of the game system and leave them there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was the same with us when we were kids with the TV. You know, that was the babysitter around my house.
Well, my grandson is the 5-year-old. Call him Boogie. His name's Brian. But when he was a baby, that's what his mother did. Hand him a smartphone. He'd sit there and watch videos and be happy as hell.
Yeah.
See, that's what killed me, right?
The punishment for him was taken away from him. Oh, he did not like that if you took that freaking phone away from him.
No, yeah, I figured that out later on after I made the mistake of giving her a phone. I found out it could be used against her for sure.
I took him in somewhere, and he decided he was going to go for a run and thought it was funny, making me chase him. When I finally caught up to him, I looked at him and says, "Young man, you're not going to be happy when we get out to the truck." Had somebody look at me, I says, "You know how you've been using Nana's phone all day? You lost that for the rest of the week. You ain't going to see that phone." As soon as I said that, you thought I'd beat the kid.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that killed me was like my son was the kid that up until he was 15, like he got a silver medal in the speed skating, you know, for the Manitoba championship, you know, like it's like a state championship for his age class. He was like a football player. He was all that. And then all of a sudden it was like all about this video game, right? And he was staying up until 3 a.m. playing video games in the basement. But he would tell his mother that, oh no, he had only, like when he got caught on the computer, he was just checking his messages, right? And his mother was like, oh no, that's fine, and I was like, no, fuck no, because I'm up till 3 a.m, right? I hear him. I know he's doing this, right? So anyway, it was like part of that. Then, yeah, it was abuse to take the computer away. And this was a kid who was like athletic. He wasn't into that shit, but he found this one thing, this one game he was really good at, and he fixated on it.
Yeah.
And he would pretend to go to sleep and get up. It was an addiction.
I did the same damn thing when I got my Nintendo long time ago. Yep, that sounds exactly like me.
I got the original Atari 2600 when that first came out.
I mean, I've come and gone into games, right? There are games that I'll do the same damn thing. As an adult, I have done that shit, right? It can be addictive.
Hey, remember the original GameCube?
Well, I never owned one because I was broke at the time, so I played on the N64.
I've still got one.
I always wanted it because the Zelda on it I heard was really good, and I never got to play that one because I never owned that one.
See, and I was always a computer guy, right?
Yeah.
Like because like my first computer was a 286 PC, and you could have this little stick figure walk across the screen and go, "What do you want to do?" Eh? I was like, stupid. So I never like that. But once we got Warcraft, like the original Warcraft, and games like Doom just fucking, that was it.
That was when I was a teenager, was Doom.
See, I didn't even own a computer till it'll be 18 years ago this coming August.
Well, my first video game system was not a Nintendo, and it wasn't an Atari either. I don't even know what it was called. It was a rectangle that you had with a wheel on it and a button. And basically, it was different versions of Pong. No, it was different versions. It had Pong, but it also had tennis. It had ice hockey.
And hockey.
It did have hockey. It had all of them, but they were just different versions of Pong.
Yeah. No, it was like hockey was Pong with 4 moving things.
Yeah. And you had to hit the button in order to switch the paddle that you were going to use at the time. You know.
No, I had that.
Yeah, that was my first gaming system, and I was not impressed. I was not impressed.
You know what the difference was?
14.
Remember back when the Nintendo first came out?
Yeah, I got one pretty quick.
The difference between the original Nintendo and the Super Nintendo? The Super Nintendo came with the 2-game package. It had the duck hunt and it had the gun.
Yeah.
Nintendo didn't have the gun with it.
I was upset about that because, man, I loved that. That was the coolest game. I didn't know anything about Duck Hunt. I just knew about Mario. And when I found Duck Hunt, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, ooh, a gun? Let me try this game. Because first I had to play Mario. After I died like 5 times, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try Duck Hunt with this gun.
I
didn't play Mario again for a while. Huh?
I always saved 1 round just to shoot the damn dog.
Right, yeah.
Because if you missed, the dog would come up laughing at you.
Yeah, how many times did you shoot the dog just to see what he'd say?
Right.
That dog come up laughing at you because you missed the dog, so you shoot the dog while he's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Well,
that was amazing to me. That kind of technology at the time was just mind blowing. Like, wow.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That wasn't even mind blowing to me because I grew up on the 50 science fiction books.
Now,
and I was like, "Son of a bitch, it's coming true. We're gonna be on Mars by the time
right?
I can get a job on Mars."
Wait.
Think about it. Look at the book 1984. We're living it now.
Well, we lived it. That is so far in the past. We were living it back then. But
I read the book in high school, dude.
Damn it, I forgot it.
All right, you know how everybody says, oh, they've been watching us since 9/11? I'm calling bullshit because on 9/11, I was working in Acadia National Park and we were installing fucking traffic trackers in the fucking roads.
Okay.
You can't go through an intersection at Acadia National Park and somebody not being able to know which way you turned when you went through that intersection.
When you licensed your vehicles and registered them so that they knew where they were, or at least where they were registered, or when they made you start registering your filling out a background check on your firearms and having to get your driver's license and your social security number on that background check. They've been checking you since they became firearms became fully automatic or not fully automatic, and you had to register. You had to go through the whole NICS check.
It's still not required to put your social security number down on the DD.
Right.
4473.
And I don't because I don't have a very common name.
By doing it, if you've got a common name, it just makes it go quick.
Yeah, I understand the reason. Yeah. And I don't do it. I think I've done it once or twice, and I don't know why I did it, but anyway, we are so far past any kind of secrecy. I mean, if you want to be off the list, you've got to fake your own death at this point, or been born out in the wilderness with people who already were, went off the grid, like completely. You got to pretend you died and just live out in the wilderness.
But the thing you don't have to worry about is, in all likelihood, the big thing that's going to happen is a giant solar flare, which is going to take out all the electronics, all the satellites, everything's going to go, right? So all the cell phones are going to go dead, all the phone lines are going to go dead, everything's going to get fried. It'll take probably 100 years to get basic phone lines and communications back, because all the ships, all the cars, everything's got electronics in it. That's going to get just toasted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but your older vehicles that had the points in them, those will still run.
right, yeah, but how many of those are left? Right?
Well, there's quite a few here in
I know of a
Arizona.
few.
Ain't rusted or nothing.
I know of a few.
Oh, we got tons, bro. I just saw a 54 Ford Ranchero with
Now,
bullet
we know
taillights.
Now, we know that, and we have that. Like, I have 3 that are point ignition, so I'm not worried about it.
Right.
It's got to be 373 before it's got electronics.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hell, you can go up to 1980 with a GM and just go buy a points distributor for it.
That was one of the reasons why we wanted Ramblers as our vehicles when I was a kid. And so my first vehicle was a Rambler 66 Classic station wagon.
I had a, no, actually, that was American Motors, but an Ambassador 1977 station wagon when I was like, I don't know, 17. Greatest fucking car ever. Packed 9 people in it, easy. Had a beer cooler in the back. I think it was for a spare tire, but it worked as a beer cooler.
Every time I think about getting a new vehicle because my truck's getting old or whatever, I think, yeah, but getting an old vehicle would be fun too. I think I might want to do that and fix it up.
Actually, it's a better investment.
Yeah,
think about it.
It is.
If you
you're in the land of no rust.
Yeah.
No, you can do that.
Yeah.
I live in the land where on a quiet night you can hear the trucks rusting.
Yeah. Well, no, I live in Saskatchewan. It's the same. They just use potash. They pull out of the ground, which is salt, and they spread it on the roads, and it fucking keeps ice off the roads. But boy, does it wreck vehicles.
Well, hell, around Bangor and shit, they're putting pickle brine on the roads before the storm, so it keeps it all melted off.
Why does it smell like pickles? I don't know, hon. I don't have any pickles, I swear.
Yeah.
Are you pregnant again?
they're using that shit to pre-treat the bridges and shit like that so they don't freeze up.
Right.
And it just eats away everything under a vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, that thing is like that. It's an acidic, and that's part of why it works, right? It's acidic. It's the water. It creates heat.
Like this summer I had to replace half the brake lines on my truck.
Yeah. Well, the best part is it's going to eat all the steel in the bridges, and eventually they're going to collapse.
It is. That's why they're replacing all the bridges.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the hell of the way the system works, right? It's like everybody else will go, well, no, you're not going to put salt in the bridge because that'll make the bridge rust.
Well, gents, I have to bounce. I have a prior engagement that I have to attend. But you guys can talk amongst yourselves if you want to continue. So by all means, do that. But thank you.
It's cool. It's getting late, man. I got to crash too.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Biker Bob. It was a pleasure. I hope you come back next week. We do it every Friday. I think you were here last week in the chat.
Yeah, try jumping back in when I'm
I
Yeah.
used to jump in the dragon all the time.
Oh, I know, but it's been a minute, and I'm very forgetful. Unfortunately, it's something I really no, I seriously am. There was a guy who used to come in the dragon all the time, and I've seen him in a few clips when I was putting some of the clips of the dragon together for a video, and I'm like, I know that guy. I talk to that guy all the time, one-on-one even, like for hours and hours and hours, and I cannot, to this day, can't remember his name or his YouTube channel. And it really bugs me. I'm gonna try to find that guy on the Dragon's old videos again and show a few people and see if anybody remembers him, because I feel really fucking bad about that shit. But
there weren't that many, were there?
there was a few. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I'm out of here.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys later.
You guys.
Peace.
Good talking,
Peace. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We will see you again next Friday night. Same time, 7 p.m. Arizona. I believe it's 9 Central and 10 Eastern. Thank you very much for watching.